Good evening, everyone. And we have some visitors with us tonight, and welcome to our meeting, and we'll be looking forward to your presentation. First of all, we'll ask for the calling of the roll.
Thank you. Mayor Eady?
Present.
Reeve Eamon? He's just signing in. Councillor Koulis?
I'm present.
Councillor Evans?
Present.
Councillor Hines?
Present.
Councillor Jamison?
Present.
Councillor Sidney?
Present.
We do have a quorum, Mayor Eady.
Okay. Okay, is there any declaration of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof? Hearing none? Okay. Our first motion then is that the representatives from the County of Renfrew be heard before council to present an overview of the programs and services offered. Mover, please. Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Jamison. Turn it over to the representatives from the county. I'm not sure which one's going to be given the presentation, but go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor Eady, and you're going to hear from all of us, actually. Before I start, though, I would be remiss if I just didn't acknowledge your Reeve, Peter Emo, as a member of County Council. Certainly, in my opinion, Peter is the most accomplished municipal politician in the County of Renfrew. I'm sure most of you will agree with me, and we are extremely fortunate to have him as part of our team at the County of Renfrew, and certainly in the town of Renfrew, you're very fortunate as well. So does an exceptional job, speaks his mind, and provides quite a bit of leadership to all of us, including myself, which is I am very thankful for. So we are here this evening to talk about our service delivery improvement project. So in early 2019, the senior leadership team made a proposal to County Council. They had looked at some of the ways that we could improve our services, be more efficient, both financially and with the delivery of our services. At that time, we were spending about $380,000 a year on lease payments in the town of, or the city of Pembroke, I should say. We are childcare, our Ontario Works, and our Renfrew County Housing Authority were all located in downtown Pembroke. So it made sense to bring all of those services back to the administration building at the County of Renfrew. We had done something similar, as you know, at Renfrew County Place. It's an opportunity for people, most people who are looking for childcare assistance or housing assistance or assistance to the Ontario Works program are often one and the same person. So being able to access those services at one window, at one desk, as opposed to running all over the place, makes a whole lot of sense. And it is proven to be extremely successful in Renfrew. And we have duplicated that in the at our administration building in Pembroke. At the same time, as of course all of you know, the province of Ontario was talking about efficiencies as well. We all had to find them. We were very fortunate to receive $750,000 in modernization funding from the province of Ontario, which we put towards the renovations of our building. And then, of course, as you know, COVID hit. We had a design. We had to do a little bit of pivoting and change the design to make sure that we had safety in mind and the health of our staff. We were able to do that. Our director of development and property, Craig Kelly, led those changes, and he's done an exceptional job. And if you haven't been to our building, if you weren't able to make the grand opening, hopefully it will be open to the public in the new year, and you'll be able to come and see it. It is absolutely fantastic and working very well as far as I believe with for our staff. At the same time that we were doing all of these changes, we had a management change in our human resources department, and that allowed us to look at our corporate services in a different way. And our director of corporate services, Jeff Foss, is here tonight to talk to you specifically about our human resources department. I'm very excited about it. We have some young, talented, experienced people in that department. And the ability that Jeff and his staff now to offer supports and services to our lower tiers is exceptional. And I know you'll feel the same way after you've heard his presentation. We were also fortunate to receive more money from the province of Ontario, which allowed us to do a much deeper review of our planning department. Director Kelly is here this evening. He's going to talk to you about some of the options and opportunities that this review has allowed us to tweak our department, to make it more efficient, and to offer exceptional services to our residents and to our lower tier municipalities. So with a quick introduction, with your permission, Mayor, I'll turn it over to CAO Morrow.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. And thanks for that, Warden. You will note Jeff looks a little bit different tonight because his internet went out at home and he's on his phone. So we're going to give this a try with Jeff doing it kind of from his iPhone, and we'll see how it goes. If we can start with Jeff, and then we'll move to Craig, if that's okay with you, Warden. Jeff, take it away.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thank you, Mayor Eadie and Renfrew Council. It's my pleasure to be with you tonight and to talk to you a little bit about some of the changes that have taken place within the Corporate Services Division. And as our warden has said, late in 2020, we had some changes within our administrative structure, and human resources as a department was added to my area of responsibility. And previously that would be finance and information technology, as well as provincial offences court administration. And so with that challenge was really the creation of a business plan that we brought before council early in this year, in 2021. And we asked council to approve a restructuring plan that would really broaden the talent of our HR team. We envisioned really a different customer service model, both for our stakeholders inside the county of Renfrew, and we have 900 staff that work at the county throughout the geography of the county. But we also proposed a business plan where we would add one additional new staff member, a human resource coordinator, that would be dedicated to servicing and supporting our lower tier municipalities. And we understand that it's sometimes very, very difficult for local municipalities to be able to recruit and find a position within your staffing complement to add that human resource expertise and experience. And so our plan was to really hire one individual and share that individual amongst all 17 municipalities on really a fee for service or a cost recovery basis. And so in February, County Council approved that plan. And our very first job was really to find a manager. And so really pleased that we found a young man by the name of Mr. Greg Belmore. Greg is a CPA and comes to us from the private sector with about a decade of private sector experience. But once we had Greg on board, we added to our team a number of new, well-educated and highly experienced human resource professionals. And so we are really in a position where we can assist your municipality with a whole bunch of very common human resource functions. For example, we can certainly help you out in the recruiting area, talent recruiting. Even if you wish, helping you with job descriptions and postings, and providing some advice and guidance in the coordination of interviews and participating in that interview process, if you will. We can even look to sort of augmenting employment agreements or employment contracts when we find the right people for your organization. But we also offer other services around policy creation and interpretation. If you have collective agreements with a bargaining unit, we can assist with all of the administrative duties around your collective agreements, grievances and grievance management, letters of understanding. Unfortunately, in today's world, we can also assist with investigations and disciplinary action, up to and including termination of employment and the necessary documentation that surrounds that entire process. All of us are aware of our pay equity responsibilities. job evaluation templates, really a whole host of human resource services. We're very, very fortunate also to have working with us for some time now a registered nurse. She works in our occupational health services department, and that individual is really an essential part of the team. When we have employees that are away on a medical leave of absence, it's our goal to get them back into the workplace as quickly as possible. And so this individual is essential in developing return to work plans and ensuring that our employees return safely into their pre-injury jobs as quickly as possible. And so really glad I have an opportunity to talk to Renfrew Council tonight. We've received in September a proposal from the town of Renfrew to look at doing just this, entering into a service level agreement where we could assist the town of Renfrew with your HR support needs. And so we've had some preliminary meetings with some of your political representatives, Reeve Eamon, as well as Mr. Bulmer. And so I think we're moving forward to developing this service level agreement so that we can be engaged and support the activities that you have in your own municipality. So maybe I'll just stop there and certainly happy to answer any questions later on if there are any.
Okay, any questions, council members? Okay, you seem to be getting off lucky, Mr. Fountain. Nobody's any questions for you. So carry on, please.
With that, Your Worship, I'll turn it over to Craig and he can talk about the changes in the planning department and hopefully some improvements we're trying to make to deliver a better service to our local municipalities as well as our ratepayers. So Craig, if you wouldn't mind speaking to that, sir.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Warden. And Your Worship, thank you, Council, for allowing us to be here. Nice to see you all. Too bad we can't be in Renfrew, but I'm sure next time we'll make our trek up there. The Warden had mentioned that we've made some changes and are making changes in planning. Of course, some of you may know Mr. Charles Cheeseman. Charles was a 32-year veteran of the County of Renfrew who retired earlier this spring, which necessitated some changes. Charles left, so we had to look at new staff members, and our senior planner, Bruce Howarth, stepped into the manager of planning role. And with him, he and I decided to take a look at modernizing the department somewhat at this point, and using our service delivery review, our strategic review of planning services, and look at some of the recommendations they had. So to get there, we have started with our memorandums of understanding, which have been circulated to your senior staff and to members of County Council. And the MOU will speak to a relationship that we may have or may future have with municipalities across Renfrew County. And we have a bit of a unique relationship with Renfrew. Renfrew, of course, has Mr. Aslan as the director and Mr. Withers as your planner. So we don't do a lot of planning directly with the town other than of course, your subdivisions. So I'm just sorry, I just got a little fluctuated note here. So we have different relationship, but it helped Mr. Withers out wherever he asked us to do and where we asked us to fill in. Of course, subdivisions are quite busy, keeping us busy in Renfrew, and we're happy to support you approving those and working with your director and staff to work on site plans and find out where we can find the best path forward for you and your staff to get these subdivisions approved. Earlier this summer, we approved OPA 31, which is our official plan, our new official plan that creates a local context. And we hope that rolling that out will help you and all the other municipalities surrounding you with a Renfrew County context of development. So a little more flexible policies, and hoping that we'll see more development come your way and hopefully help the businesses and the growth in Renfrew. We're also looking at cloud permitting or e-permitting to help out the process of applications and general inquiries for applicants to move the development process along faster. We've reached out so far with Mr. Withers and are looking at solutions, but we'll bring that forward as the county itself works through its own digital strategy, and will determine where it fits within that strategy as we move forward. I'd be remiss, and since I have the floor tonight, to thank the town of Renfrew for all of its support on both the K&P Trail and on the Algonquin Trail. We recognize both trails are going to be economic drivers for tourism and growth as we move forward. You can't go through Renfrew in your area without seeing a walker, a biker, an ATV, or a snowmobiler. So, I'm glad that the users are making great use. Renfrew is at that pinnacle of trails as people make the way either down to Calabogie or down to Smiths Falls and up to Petawawa. So again, thank you for your support, and we look forward to developing it more as we move forward in the future. And I know Reeve Ema has been quite deeply involved with that, and we look forward to working with Peter and with Kevin and whatnot to move forward, and with your economic development team. I think that's it, Paul. I'll stop there and pass it back to you.
Thanks a lot, Craig. Really appreciate that. Just on the planning changes and the MOU, I think the town of Renfrew is very well positioned, especially with the expansion of Highway 417. So for us right now, the timing is right to work with the town and talk about what planning provisions that we can put in place that will help foster that growth for the longer term. So we're trying to be strategic when we're putting these MOUs in place and plan for the future so that we can all succeed down the road when growth does start to pick up in our area. So thanks for that, Craig. Warden, with that and your worship, I'll turn it over to the warden for final remarks, sir.
Thank you.
Mayor Eady, Council, thank you very much for allowing us to be here this evening. If you have any questions of Craig or Paul or Jeff or myself, please don't be shy, ask away. If not, you certainly know where to find us. And it's been a pleasure to be able to be with you tonight, albeit via Zoom as opposed to in person.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions, council members? Councillor Hines, then Reeve.
I just want to say thank you very much for that presentation for the town of Renfrew. Certainly the human resources piece and the planning couldn't happen at a better time. And as a member of council, I look forward to working with you folks on that. When you're a small municipality, it is important to maybe share those resources with other entities, and certainly the county is a good fit. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Reeve.
Yeah, yes, I'd like to just express my appreciation to the warden and county council and to Jeff and Paul for allowing our presentation on HR to be heard, and then offering to sit and tweak it because it didn't quite fit within the existing model. And so we certainly appreciate that flexibility and the willingness to sit down and talk about things. And I guess if I might, is at some point, I'm hoping that, the county will take a look at IT and legal services. You already share opinions with us for the most part, which is good news. And I was just wondering about if there's any further discussion around legal services. And then also engineering and project management seminars and things like that. So those are all things I think as we go forward, which will be important for our municipality, but our other 16 partners as well. So thank you very much.
Okay. Any other council members have any comments? Hearing none. I don't know what I look like from you people. When I look at the screen to the left of me here, I look like I'm looking sideways, but the camera's over here. If I turn it that way, I'm looking. So I'm not sure what this is a little bit of a new venture for us here that we're going through right now because of COVID, et cetera. So anyways, very, very nice presentation, and thank you to Jeff and Craig and CAO Morrow and of course Warden Robinson. So thank you very much for that presentation, and I know we're going to be using some of your services and looking forward to getting a really, really good deal.
Oh, sorry.
Absolutely.
I didn't know my mic was on.
So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Always.
Great.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Take care, everyone. Hopefully your meeting is short and productive.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Okay. All in favor
Thank
of
you.
accepting the presentation? That's carried. Thank you. Next motion is that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held October the 12th, 2021 be adopted as printed. Mover, please. Councillor Jamison, seconded by Councillor Hines. Any questions or comments on the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Next motion, that the minutes for the special meeting of council held October 19th, 2021 be adopted as printed. Mover, please. Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Colas. Again, any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. That the minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting held October the 5th, 2021 be received. Mover, please. Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Sidney. Very short report on this. I chair that committee, and we had one minor variance application at 180 Empire Avenue, and it was to reduce the minimum interior side yard from a width of 1.5 to 0.75 meters for proposed dwelling addition, and that was recommended and approved. That's all there was on that meeting. So, if there's any questions, but hearing none, all in favor? Carried. That the minutes of the Waste Management Committee meeting held October the 4th, 2021 be received. A mover, please. Reeve Emo, second by Councillor Evans. Turn it over to Reeve Emo for the report.
Good evening, Council, and good evening, Your Worship, and through you to Council, I'd like to report our Waste Management meeting was held on October the 4th. It was an electronic meeting. I will take you down to item number 7, which is actually on page 2, and note that the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks conducted an investigation on the Renfrew landfill site on September 3rd. Not to alarm anybody, that's simply what I would term an inspection. There was no complaints or reason for them being there other than it was decided they would come in and have a look at the operation. They hadn't been there for a while. So they'll be included with the minutes to flow to council, and you've seen the report. It's 6 pages attached to this report. Our landfill report, concern was raised over the 30% increase of sludge material has been received from the sewage treatment plant. So we're going to ask some questions around that. Large leaf and yard waste collection starts this week, which was October the 4th and 7th, and will continue through until the end of the first week of November. And recycling collection, nothing new to report other than there will be updates at the Roma conference, which will be held virtually on January 2022. Donation bins, we've wrestled this for some time, and by trying to find the ultimate solution, we found a solution without doing anything. The bins at one of their larger retailers has been removed, and with the addition of 2 thrift stores, a lot of people seemingly are donating more to the thrift store, so we're not having issues that we had in the past. One of the concerns we had was that some of our bins were at the waste site were filling up with what we thought were very usable items, and that's not, just a preliminary scan of them. Whenever the members of the committee are down at the site, have noted there's not as many usable items. It's truly broken items that are in the waste stream now. 9.2 at the top of page 3. If you look, we're telling you that we have approximately 21 years remaining in stage 4, and it's our goal to keep reducing the volume that goes into the landfill site, compact it better, utilize the space we have, and try and keep the remaining space as long as we can. Likely, as we get closer to 10 years remaining, there'll be an uptick in the activity to start planning and then accessing stage 4. Our 2021 priorities, we reviewed them, and the multi-residential recycling program has been started at 4 of the 17 buildings located in town, and our staff are working towards incorporating the remaining 13 buildings. This isn't a simple process because these buildings were not designed with rooms on floors for recycling or specific rooms downstairs, and it's a little bit difficult sometimes to get the recycling down for the residents. So we're trying to find some solutions. one solution is not going to fit all 17 as well, so that's going to cause us some challenges. Water samples are being collected semi-annually from the Bon Chien River. As you know, that's our new way of monitoring the offflow of possible contaminants from the site. We talked about not moving forward with the reuse center, again, because of the two new stores in the downtown core that are taking used items and reselling them. It made no sense for us to, in any way, shape, or form, compete or to limit the flow of goods that they have going to their sites. We're looking at putting a new furnace in the equipment shed. Our grinding tent will be closing later this week, actually today. So we'll have some information on that for you. And we're going to be in contact with the town of Arnprior and McNabb Braeside regarding our waste collection contract. Our contract has a provision which allows us to extend it for another year or two if necessary, if we like the rates. And then bins, we had some discussions over the last little while about bins. The bins are, as you know, sit within the sawtooth construction of the cement barricades. And we rent those bins and then we have them hauled up to the face, and we're looking at doing it internally, but it doesn't make any sense given the substantial investment to purchase probably 10 bins, maybe 12 bins, and then have them, they're treated pretty roughly and then you have to replace them. So it makes sense to continue with a contract. And 9.6.2 budget consideration for 2022, we're working on that. And we're just informing you that we're also looking at some of the funds that we receive from MTerra. We'll get a sense of that and whether that'll help us with the food cycler pilot project, which Councillor Evans reported on to you in the last meeting. That's what I can report to you, Your Worship, and to Council, submitted by yourself, myself, and Councillor Evans.
Okay, are there any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? It's carried, thank you. That the minutes of the Development and Works Committee meeting held October the 12th, 2021 be received. Mover, please. Councillor Koulis, second by Councillor Hines. Turn over to Councillor Koulis for the report.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is the meeting of the 12th of October, Tuesday. It was done in person for the first time since this pandemic began. Just a couple of highlights I think require mentioning. We did receive a request to rebuild, repair a drainage problem on McAndrew Street by a homeowner, in that water runs down the street and the grade is not quite right and runs into his yard and eventually into his home. We do have that on our radar for 2022, and we'll be doing something about it for sure. It's been a problem for the last few years. We also had a complaint about in the Renfrew Avenue East and Jeanette Street area, William Street, about noise, vehicle noise, and concerns about parking on the street and parking too close to intersecting roads and streets. The complaint was basically aimed at our bylaw enforcement people, and we did clarify that with the homeowner, that it's not necessarily just that department's function to police that type of complaint. We are working with this resident to rectify and also to have MLES, our bylaw enforcement people, spend more time in that area of town to monitor what's going on there. The building report came in as well, showing a very positive increase in activity for the month of September. Obviously, we do realize a lot of income from the development on Barnett by Lapine, and their third building has been applied for, and they have already started with that. with their crane being moved to that location. There was talk about the Mattaway expansion and its foundation drawings and so on, and how the town will deal with those the building permit and fees and so on, and that will come to council, of course, in the very near future. The town is currently reviewing the development bylaw charges, as we know. We had a meeting on that a week or so ago. There are some complaints about speeding in the 100 Gate area, primarily Otter Ridge Crescent, I think it's called, with people using it as a bypass to get around the back of O'Brien Road. And we have in the past investigated that to the 9th degree and found there was no real concern when we put speed monitors up. But we have asked the OPP to put their speed sign back there again. If in fact they're not able to do that, then we will repost the town's speed sign. Swinging Bridge construction has started, and it'll be shut down for a few weeks while we complete that. It should be done by the early part of December. Other than that, basically we went through all of the various projects that are on the go, ongoing, just completed, or are about to start in the next 6 to 8 months. And you have a copy of it in front of you, of everything from Joffrey, Hague, Dufferin, refurbishment, the O'Brien Road, Gillen Damask redevelopment next spring, pedestrian crossing signals that we've installed on Stewart and Raglan South, the Stewart Street development, the Raglan Street development, the Earth Boulevard, many, many things that we did discuss that day. Everything from repairing a crew cab box on one of the trucks, a 2005 crew cab, to the LED streetlight conversions and so on. It's all in front of you. Rather than me going through that item for item for item, I would suggest you to have a peek at it. And if there is any concerns, you could contact myself or Director Aslan for a clarification. And that's my report.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the report? Councillor Hines.
I just want to say thank you very much for the 2021 budget and capital projects and the next steps after that. I think that's a great summary for us to have and to know what's coming up and where we're going with that and what's been done. So certainly appreciate that. Councillor Koulis as the chair and Director Aslan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of receiving the report? Thank you. Okay, it's carried. Okay. Is there any new or unfinished business? If I could just bring it up briefly, Revimo, on behalf of council and our staff, just like to pass on our condolences on the loss of your mother. I just learned about it today, and I know it's put you in a tough time for a few days. So anyways, our condolences.
Thank you. Thank you for your kindness, your worship, council, and to staff. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay. Next motion. The Renfrew Town Council convene in closed session for the following matters pursuant to Section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001. Pursuant to Section 239(2)(c) of the Municipal Act 2001, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, more specifically as relates to encroachment on town property. Mover, please. Councillor Sidney, second by Councillor Hines. All in favor? We're now in closed session. Just take a short break for a few minutes.